There are places on our planet that seem to exist outside of time. High, lonely places where the silence is absolute, and the secrets of the past are kept frozen and pristine. In the upper reaches of the Indian Himalayas, nestled in a glacial valley at over 16,000 feet, lies one such place. A small, shallow lake, frozen for most of the year, surrounded by barren, rocky slopes. Its name is Roopkund. For centuries, it was known only to local villagers and pilgrims, a place of myth and legend. But in 1942, a British forest ranger stumbled upon a site that would turn this remote lake into one of the most haunting and bizarre archaeological mysteries in the world. As the summer sun melted the ice, he saw that the lake was not empty. Its shallow bed and the shores around it were filled with the skeletal remains of hundreds of human beings. This was Roopkund, the skeleton lake. And for over 70 years, the story of who these people were and how they died seemed to have a simple, if tragic, explanation. But a recent scientific discovery has shattered that simple story, replacing it with a puzzle so strange, so impossible, that it defies everything we thought we knew. The discovery of the skeleton lake in the midst of World War II initially sparked alarm. The British authorities, fearing it was the remains of a secret Japanese invasion force attempting to cross into India, sent a team to investigate. They quickly realized the bones were not modern. They were ancient. And so the first great mystery of Roopkund was born. Who were these people? And how did they all die together in this impossibly remote and inaccessible place? For decades, the leading theory was a story of a pilgrimage gone wrong. Local legends told of a great king, his pregnant wife, and their large retinue, who were traveling to a nearby shrine. They had angered the local mountain goddess, Nanda Devi, by their loud celebrations. In her fury, the goddess sent down a terrible storm, a storm of iron balls that killed them all in an instant. It was a compelling story, and for a long time the scientific evidence seemed to support it. In 2004, a major expedition was mounted to study the remains. Scientists collected bones, skulls, and preserved tissue. The initial analysis was fascinating. They determined that the remains belonged to as many as 500 to 800 individuals, both men and women. Many of the skulls had identical, short, deep cracks in them, as if they had all been struck on the head from above by a large, round object. There were no other signs of injury on the bones, no evidence of weapons or a battle. This led to a powerful and widely accepted scientific theory, the hailstorm theory. The story went that a large group of 9th century pilgrims, caught in the open on the exposed slopes of the valley with nowhere to hide, were hit by a sudden and freakishly violent hailstorm. The hailstones, as large as cricket balls, rained down upon them, killing them instantly with blows to the head. It was a perfect explanation. It fit the local legend of iron balls from the sky. It fit the physical evidence of the skull fractures. And it explained how so many people could have died in a single catastrophic event. For years, this was the accepted story of Roopkund. It was a tragic but solved mystery. But the skeletons of Roopkund held one more, far stranger secret. In 2019, a team of international scientists conducted the first ever large-scale genomic analysis of the Roopkund remains. They sequenced the DNA from dozens of different skeletons. Everyone expected the results to confirm that the victims were a single, related group of South Asian people who had died in the 9th century. The results that came back were a bombshell. They were so shocking, so completely unexpected, that the scientists themselves could barely believe them. The DNA analysis revealed that the skeletons did not belong to one group. They belonged to at least 3 genetically distinct populations. The first group, the largest, was indeed of South Asian ancestry, consistent with the idea of local pilgrims. But the second group was completely different. Their DNA was a match for people from the eastern Mediterranean, from modern-day Greece and Crete. And the third group was of Southeast Asian ancestry. What were people from Greece doing in a remote Himalayan lake in the 9th century? But the most mind-bending discovery was yet to come. The radiocarbon dating now performed on these distinct genetic groups shattered the single-event theory forever. The South Asian skeletons did indeed date to around 800 AD, dying in one or more, but the Mediterranean group, they had died much, much later. Around 1800 AD, the two groups found lying side by side in the same frozen grave had died 1,000 years apart. This new evidence turned the entire mystery on its head. The simple, elegant hailstorm theory was now impossible. Roopkund was not the site of a single tragedy. It was something far stranger. It was a place that different groups of people from different corners of the world had traveled to over a span of a millennium to die. The questions were now deeper and far more unsettling. Who were these people? The South Asian group, dating to the 9th century, could still have been pilgrims. But who were the Mediterranean travelers who died there in the 19th century during the height of British rule in India? There is no historical record of any expedition, any army, or any trade route that would explain their presence in this remote and insignificant valley. And why did they come here? Roopkund is not on any major pilgrimage route. It leads nowhere. It is a small, shallow lake in a high-altitude pasture. What drew these disparate groups, separated by 1,000 years of history, to this one specific spot? The new evidence has forced scientists to re-examine everything. The how of their deaths is also now a mystery. While the hailstorm theory might still apply to the 9th century group, it doesn't explain the others. The skeletal remains show no evidence of bacterial pathogens that would suggest a widespread epidemic. There are no signs of combat. They were, by all accounts, healthy individuals when they died. Was the lake a site of ritual suicide? A remote burial ground used by different cultures for 1,000 years? If so, why? What was special about this small, frozen body of water? The local legends, once seen as a simple folk tale, are now being re-examined. Was the story of the angry goddess Nanda Devi a memory of a real, recurring danger in the valley? A danger that, for 1,000 years, claimed the lives of those who dared to venture there? The skeleton lake of Roopkund has become one of the most profound mysteries in archaeology. It is a place that defies easy explanation. Every new piece of scientific data seems to make the story stranger, not clearer. It is a genetic ghost story, a puzzle written in the bones of people from different worlds and different centuries, all united in a single, silent, frozen congregation. They are a testament to the fact that our history is filled with journeys and stories that we have completely forgotten. The lake is a reminder that the past is not a simple, linear narrative. It is a complex, overlapping tapestry of lives and events that sometimes converge in the most inexplicable of places. The skeletons of Roopkund are silent. They cannot tell us who they were or why they came to this boneyard at the top of the world. But their very presence, a genetic and chronological impossibility, asks us a chilling question. What other secrets, what other impossible stories are still out there, waiting for the ice to melt?